All right, welcome back to the Net to Net podcast. I'm your host, Sam Kelty, and today we are talking about my last mock draft going into the draft tomorrow. So excited to see where the players are going. Big news coming out of the NFL with Cincinnati, my team, Chance, and I'll talk about them in a little bit, but today we're going to go through my last mock draft. I'm going to do it live here with you. I'm going to do the first round with you all, and then second through seventh will be in the link in the description to see my mock draft, kind of see where I had going and see if it comes true because I'm very excited. There's going to be a lot of moves probably this draft. There's probably going to be trades. There's going to be a lot going on. So right now I'm about to get ready to show you. I'm ready. I'm excited. I haven't done one in a long time. So, yeah, it's been a minute since we've been back on the net to net. So hopefully we can get it done. All right. So the first team up, I think everybody knows. It's been consensus through the number one. I think it's going to be Caleb Williams going to Chicago. And with Caleb Williams going to Chicago, that is going to be, like we said, that's the new era of Chicago. They do have only 4 picks this draft, so I would not be surprised if they trade down from the number 9 spot down into the draft and get more assets during this draft because, like they said, they only have 4. You already got rid of Justin Fields. You're already committing to a new thing, to Caleb Williams pretty much at that point. You've got them new weapons with Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet's another year in. They go out and sign DeAndre Swift from the Eagles, who had a great season in Philadelphia this year. So Chicago definitely going to look to take some big steps and hopefully get out of the bottom of the NFC North. With the second pick in the draft, I think that it's either going to be between Drake May or Jaden Daniels. Both of them are being looked at by Washington. I personally thought that Drake May going into the season in college was going to be the consensus second best quarterback on the roster going into it. But now, as the season played out, Jaden Daniels, your Heisman winner at LSU, put up phenomenal numbers at LSU this year. I think he goes to Washington. I don't think there's a chance that he starts right away. There is also a chance he doesn't. They did bring in Marcus Mariota to be either that veteran backup or to be that stopgap and give Jaden Daniel time to to learn the offense and pick up an NFL style. I could also see Drake May going here. Drake May did struggle this season with when he didn't have the weapons around him. But you give him Terry McLaurin, you give him Jahanni Dotson, you have something there. So I think Jaden Daniels there maybe is something of the future. Now New England's up. There is a chance that they don't take a quarterback and they trade down or they get weapons. But the problem is if they draft someone other than a quarterback, then the problem is you're drafting guys that you don't have someone to throw to. So I'm thinking, hey, go out and get your franchise quarterback in this draft. New England hasn't drafted quarterback since Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think that they go out and get Drake May with the 3rd overall pick. Now that comes to Arizona. They got to take the best player available. Best player available is Marvin Harrison Jr. He is the consensus. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best receiver in this class, best skill position player in this draft on the offensive side. I think it's a no-brainer to go out and get what he did. 14 touchdowns last season, 1,000 yards. He's a freak, just like his dad. He's tall, he's lanky. He can go out and jump and get the ball if you want to go high ball, throw it up top to him. He can jump up and get any. He will cause mayhem for any defender. Kyle Murray needs someone they haven't had since um, probably DeAndre Hopkins, to be honest, when he was there. So go out and get Marvin Harrison. Now, the LA Chargers are up. I also could see a trade down in this position too. What do they need? They need receiver. They got rid of their two best receivers, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. What they can do is go out and get Malik Neighbors or Rome Adunze. Me personally, I think Rome Adunze is better than Malik Neighbors, but everybody has Malik Neighbors going second behind Marvin as the number 2 receiver in this year's draft. Me trying to get the most accurate, I would probably go Neighbors, but if I prefer a receiver, I would go Adunze. But I'm going Neighbors. Now, something that is different from my last mock draft. My last mock draft I did post combine. I picked going number 6 number 6 to the Giants. I had Rome Adunze going, which now I think that the Giants go quarterback, and they select. And by the way, no trades in my mock draft because that's just a little too much. Because then we have to look at what they're trading for, what's the best value, what you think the best value is, and it's a lot of opinion based on how much value is for something. So no trades, but I think they go if there's no trades. JJ McCarthy. I think it's time to move on from Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones doesn't give you. Daniel Jones has just been not the best. He's been injured very consistently. He hasn't been great. I would go out and get JJ McCarthy. We saw what he did in college. Yes, there were some games he didn't really throw the ball against a really good defense like Penn State or Ohio State, and they ran the ball a lot. You give him the situation around in New York. You have you lost Saquon Barkley, but you have Darren Waller still, who says he hasn't decided if he's going to play or not. You still have the likes of Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodges, Jalen Hyatt. So you have those receivers there. You just need a quarterback that can be reliable. J.J. McCarthy, I think, is the quarterback, and he's going to be a really good NFL quarterback. I think he has a really good arm. He just needs to make better decisions when it comes to throwing the ball a little bit more, because you did see him throw a lot in the double coverage under pressure types of situation. All right, going to Tennessee at number 7, I think they take the first offensive tackle off the board, Joe Alt. Joe Alt, best offensive line we've seen in a while. A lot of people will come in and say Ola Fashanu is better. I think based off of talent, yes, he's raw. He's young. Joe Alt is experienced. He's a big guy. Notre Dame always produces those big offensive lines, like Mike McGlinchey and Quentin Nelson, just to name a couple. But I think Joe Alt perfect for that build, that offensive line to protect Will Levis, because we saw Will Levis get dropped a lot because he got pressured way too much because his tackles could not block well. So I would go Joe Alt. At number 8, I think for me stays the same. For the Falcons, I think they go Dallas Turner. He's the best defensive tackle or defensive end or edge rusher in this draft, I think. Yeah, people say Jared Verse might be better. No, Dallas Turner, we saw that consistency from Dallas over the last couple of years, even with Will Anderson being there 2 years ago with him. Number 9, if they don't trade down from this, go get a third person for Caleb to throw to. Go get Odunze. Now you have Odunze, Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore. I like that pick 100%. With the Jets, There's definitely a couple ways you can go. I think they take best player available. In my last mock draft, I had them taking Talise Fuwanga out of Oklahoma State, but I think yes, there's the stats of he doesn't pass to a tight end that much. The last do something is Richard Rodgers when he was in Green Bay, but Brock Bowers, you can line him up as a tight end, you can line him up as a receiver. This man can do it all, and you saw how Georgia kind of struggled without Brock Bowers in that offense. Get another weapon for Aaron Rodgers, and plus people don't really realize that Brock Bowers is a really good blocker as a tight end. But you also bring in someone that can take the pressure off of the likes of Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. So definitely, I think that Brock Bowers could be a great pick right here. Going into Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy off the board. They do need a quarterback. There is a chance they could take Michael Penix, Bo Nix. I think if J.J. McCarthy is not there and they don't trade up, they won't take him. Or they won't take a quarterback yet. And I think they take someone that can replace the production that Danielle Hunter gave them, and that is Jared Verse out of Florida State. A lot of people might say Latu's a little bit better, the best edge rusher in the class. Yes, he is a great edge rusher, but he has that injury history. He medically retired in college due to his neck, and then he came back. So he does have that injury history. That's why I think Latu will fall. But Jared Verse can replace Danielle Hunter production. Now we're going to Denver. Denver made not a big moves, but some moves, and they go out and they trade for Zach Wilson. They have Zach Wilson in the 7th for a 6th-round pick. It's kind of like the same thing with Minnesota. If Minnesota doesn't trade up, which I could see them trading up with like San Diego or Chicago or someone to jump up and try to get that quarterback. I could see Denver trying to do the same. I don't think Denver has the assets really to do it, especially with trading with the likes of Jerry Jeudy. Russell Wilson's no longer there, but they wouldn't have been able to trade that high up. You're probably not going to – probably the person that you try to trade up with would be Patrick Surtain, but they've already said they don't want to trade him. But I say Denver goes out. I don't think Zach Wilson's the answer. You go Zach Wilson, Jared Stidham, and Blake Rippin as like the only quarterbacks on the roster, I believe. I think they go out and get Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix right here to Denver fits them. Now we get to Oakland. Las Vegas Raiders. They need a lot. They don't really need they need some help. I think they go take the best cornerback off the board, and Terrion Arnold. A lot of people are saying Quinion Mitchell is going to be the first cornerback off the board. I don't think so. I think it's Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold, what we saw at Alabama this year, he was a shutdown corner. He plays in the slot. He can also kind of line up in the boundaries, but he's really made in the slot. He's very athletic, very strong. I think he fits Las Vegas very well. All right, now New Orleans. I think this is definitely an offensive tackle. I like where he's at. I'm going to go Ole Fashanu out of Penn State tackle. They need to strengthen their tackles between Pete's and forget his name. The other tackle who struggled for Saints. They did struggle with their tackles. So they definitely do need some help there. In Indianapolis, this is where I see Quinion Mitchell coming off the board to go to Indianapolis. They haven't had a really good cornerback since Stephon Gilmore. Before Stephon Gilmore, it's probably been a while since probably the late Vontae Davis, rest in peace. He was a great shutdown corner. Quinion Mitchell, his stock has grown since the Senior Bowl, pretty much throughout the entire season at Toledo, and he was balling out in the MAC, and then goes and shows up at the Combine, and he just dominates. Quinion Mitchell to Indianapolis just fits. They need a number one corner. Now we're here in Seattle. In my last mock draft, going into the combine, I believe I had Seattle taking CJ Latham. They do need tackles and offensive line help. They also need D-line help. This is where I could see Latu going or Byron Murphy, but I think I'm going to keep it offensive tackle. I did go offensive tackle last time, but I'm going with Fuanga instead of JC Latham. If both two of those are on the board, I think Fuanga goes before Latham because Fuanga's more experienced and he is not he's not as raw as what we saw from Latham. Latham did, and a lot of people saying, yeah, Latham's a really good tackle, but we forget that Latham halfway through the season or at the beginning of the season lost his starting spot. He was sharing time. So I think if you take a guy that's really good at footwork, he can block, and they both really good in the run and the pass game, Fuanga's your guy. And I think they take Fuanga. All right. Now we're at Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville, I had them last time taking Nate Wiggins off the board, the first one of the best corners, I think. I think this time they take a cornerback. I think I'm going to keep it the same and go Nate Wiggins. I think Nate Wiggins just fits that. Yes, Cooper DeJean's still out there, but I think with Cooper DeJean's injury history, I think he falls a little bit. Now we're at Cincinnati. This is where it gets interesting for me. So in the last 24 hours, not even 24 hours, maybe the last 2 hours, Bengals, T. Higgins re-requested a trade, and now Trey Hendricks is asking for a trade. So now we're either going to trade both of these guys during the draft, or we're going to wait till after the draft to see where teams done and then trade them, or they're going to play out the season that Cincinnati and then leave for free. This is where I could see us go for Latu. I like the pick here, but for me, I like Byron Murphy. I had him in my last couples going later or before to the Rams or to the Seahawks. I would go offensive tackle and go J.C. Latham here or Amarius Mims because we do need tackle. But we did just bring in Trent Brown, who's a very good offensive tackle. He's experienced. Yes, he is older. But I think with this news coming out, I think Byron Murphy kind of fits it as a D-line. And then for the Rams, this is where I have Latu going. He's going to replace the production that they're going to lose from Aaron Donald. Now to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a lot of options where they can go. They can go tackle. They can go guard. They can go receiver. They need a center. They haven't ruled out bringing back Mason Cole. They have been looking at a bunch of veteran centers. I like J.C. Powers. Jackson is the best interior guard. I think, depending on if they don't make a trade for a receiver at any point for a star receiver, I think taking Brian Thomas Jr. here could be the answer. Yes, you can also make the argument for, Cooper DeJean because they need that second corner with Joey Porter. But there are some good corner free agents out there still. Xavier Howard, Levi Wallace is still out there. You could bring back. I mentioned Xavier Howard, Stephon Gilmore. There are so many options you can go. I think what they need right now on the offense is Brian Thomas Jr. Someone that can play on the boundaries with George and take pressure off of George Pickens. Brian Thomas led the league or led the NCAA in touchdowns this season over Malik Neighbors. Everybody was focused on Malik Neighbors, and you have Brian Thomas always open. He's a speedy receiver. I take Brian Thomas. Miami. I think here, the amount of guards and tackles they lost, I think they go J.C. Latham here. It just makes more sense. Philadelphia, Cooper DeJean is a match made in actually, honestly, not Cooper DeJean. I think Kool-Aid McGinty goes. Match made in heaven. Bama goes to Philadelphia. They need cornerback help. Back up to Minnesota. This is where I'm like, hey, You have a pick at this pick. What do you need? You need a quarterback. Michael Penix Jr. is a Minnesota Viking if they do not trade up and get J.J. McCarthy. There is a chance they trade up, and like I said, there are no trades in mind. But if there is a trade, that pick is used to help get J.J. McCarthy at pick 5 or 6 to the Chargers or to the Giants, whoever they probably move up. That's where I think they'll move up to. Dallas, this is kind of a no-brainer. You take Troy Fontaine out of Washington. You lost Tyron Smith. Fontaine can play either tackle or guard. A lot of people say he's going to play guard. I think it just depends on where he goes, and that's best player available. And I think he's more versatile than Amarius Mims. Green Bay, Cooper DeJean, get Jerry Alexander a running mate, please. He needs that second corner. We haven't seen that since Kevin King. But yes, get him a running mate. At pick 26 to Tampa Bay, get him an edge rusher. You lost. You can either go middle linebacker, which I think you can wait till the second round or the third round to get one. You do need edge rushers. Take Chomp Robinson. He's there for the taking. You take him. He was a menace in college football. He was getting after quarterbacks on that really good Penn State defense. Arizona at pick 27. I think it's back-to-back Robinson picks. I think Darius Robinson out of Missouri goes to Arizona and kind of rebuild that defense. Buffalo, I think this is a really no-brainer choice. One of the Texas boys, and I think Donald Mitchell. You got to replace Stephon Diggs. Plain and simple. Don't really have to go into much detail. You don't have a receiver. You've lost Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis in the same offseason. You need receivers. Mitchell is your guy. Next, cornerback help for. I think they go corner here. I think it just makes the most sense. And then this Rake Straw Jr. is out there. Him or Mike Centril, you can't go wrong. They need help. Yeah, they got Carlton Davis in the trade, but they definitely need more help there. Baltimore, get this man some more help. You already got him, Derrick Henry. Go out and get a tackle that can block. That's really what they've needed. They just traded away Morgan Moses to New York Jets. Replace him with Amarius Mims. He's out there. Take him. For San Francisco, I like Tyler Gutton. This is going to be another offensive tackle take. Their tackles are getting older. They need to kind of get youth. With the last pick, I think here I have Troy Franklin. I've had Troy Franklin going, but he's just done okay. He hasn't really. He's more of a game time player. We haven't really seen it at the combine. We really didn't see it at his pro day either. But someone that showed up big and that was kind of sneaking in to that last pick in the first round, kind of sneaked in, is Keon Coleman. I think Keon Coleman's shown why he deserves to be picked at the last pick in the first round. He's just been unbelievable throughout the through the offseason, and at the combine he showed up. And we saw him all at Florida State. He proved why he was the number one receiver at Florida State. So that kind of wraps up my mock draft first round. You'll see the rest in the link description below. I'm very excited for this. Hopefully we can get out and do more with it. I might record my live reactions to where they go tomorrow. Definitely stay tuned to that. But yeah, I will really. Hopefully you guys like this. Hopefully I get most of these picks right. A lot of these, there could be trades, there could be trade downs, but you never know. And that's why I think we love the NFL draft. Hopefully they can get someone. For my Bengals, hopefully they get someone, but hopefully you guys enjoy. You'll definitely see this before the draft tomorrow, so you guys can listen to who I have before the draft starts. But yeah, hopefully we can get another soccer video out. I know I really wanted to do one with El Clasico happening this last weekend, but I think we're going to try to get one out soon. So definitely stay tuned. Hopefully we can get back on a more consistent basis. But definitely like and subscribe to our channels on YouTube, X, and Instagram. And I'll see you guys soon. Peace.